Hi there and welcome to Meet the Experts. I'm Dori, Soukup, founder of Inspiration Management, and with me today is Tracie Ullman, author, speaker, and founder of Life Transformations. I am so excited that you are joining us today because we are going to explore 5 principles to help you begin your life transformation. So stay tuned. Hi, Tracie, and welcome to Meet the Experts. I'm glad you took some time away from your busy schedule to be with us today. And I am super excited about this topic that definitely needs to be explored to help many of our audience and people that are watching the show. So let's start a little bit by your career. You've had such an interesting career path. We've known each other for a long time. I know you started out as a nurse. Why don't you tell our audience your little journey and how it got you to develop life transformations?
Well, being a nurse, I just absolutely love helping people. And because of that passion that I have for helping people, it led me to where I am today. And though I had some bumps in the road, I just am an internal student and I just kept up leveling myself. And it's where I am today.
Yeah, so you went from being a nurse to actually opening up your own medical spa, and you did that for several years.
Yeah.
And built that up.
And then in between that, I had some obstacles, and in those obstacles led me to my coaching career and helping and serving others to the point now where I am a master trainer of NLP, neuro-linguist programming.
That's very nice. Well, it's so great to meet women who are entrepreneurs and also life learners. Really, that's what you are, that's what I am, and that's what I like about being with people like yourself. So let's start by, you mentioned NLP. Let's start by defining exactly what NLP is and maybe what are some of the misconceptions about it.
So NLP stands for neuro-linguistic programming. And one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's mind control. The psychology, when you go see a therapist, talk therapy, is the study of disorder. So psychology is the study of disorder, where NLP is the study of excellence in others. So we study the really great ones, the real great behaviors and strategies of people, and then we train others to do the same. So you can always live the life that you want in an excellent, excellent way.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited about the 5 principles that we're going to go over today. So what is the first principle? I know you talk about being self-awareness, and self-awareness is probably one of the most important things. That's the foundation, right? Can you expand on that a little bit for us?
Yeah, the foundation is that you need to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. So if you're stuck in your life or you're stuck in your business like I was, we needed to find a way to unstuck, unglue, and that focus is to always be aware of what we're focusing on, and that focus needs to be pure.
How do you get someone to really be aware of or the exercise that they would go through to actually get to that self-awareness of what they actually need to change?
Yeah, there's sometimes where people, that's the first step, Dori, honestly, is having people be aware that they're stuck or they're living in a life of limiting beliefs and limiting doubts. And when I get clients and I'm coaching them, one of the biggest keys is to know your outcome. Most people don't know what they want. You've got to know what you want, and then you have to plan accordingly. And writing an outcome out, we start with the date. Where do I see myself in a week, a month? It is now September 1st. I see myself working in a new job or driving a new car or wanting to see other people doing that too.
Yeah. So to me, with self-awareness, as we were talking, since you've been visiting me here in beautiful Daytona Beach, you helped me discover some self-awareness the other day on my personal side. Like, I feel like I have my professional career all set, but when you're talking about self-awareness, there are so many aspects of it within a personal life. You're talking about personal, business, family, so many different avenues. So is there like a specific exercise that someone will go through to bring that awareness out of them?
Well, what we do is what's called a breakthrough session, where we take you through a whole day of really discovering negative emotions, limiting beliefs, limiting doubts, and a lot of it has to do with the past and our upbringing.
Yes.
And some of those things that are challenging us, especially in relationships with other people, is one of the most invigorating thing that you could help somebody do, is really overcome those obstacles that are blocking you from the things that you truly want. And in your case, relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. And that day you were describing to me, actually, I'm sure we'll dive into it a little bit more. I think that would be such a great exercise for anyone to really dig deep and go to the past and then realize where they are today. And that's what that self-awareness is. And then the next step is the desire and the principle that we're going to talk about. So the second principle is getting that self-awareness and then moving it into a desire stage. Elaborate on that for us.
Well, when we get to the desire state, what we're really doing is making you resourceful. So when we are in an unresourceful state, we can't figure things out. And through that breakthrough session that I talked to you about, and first of all, those breakthrough sessions are 6 to 8 hours. It's a day with Tracie, and people look forward to doing it. And you're exhausted from it, but getting you to a resourceful state and getting you aligned to where you're supposed to be is really the key point of it, and eliminating. We'll talk about that a little bit about how we actually do it.
So the desire, though, how do you get somebody to realize, because you mentioned a little earlier, they don't even know what they want. They're not very clear on it. So what steps do you go through to actually have them realize their desires, their passions, their purpose in life?
So we got to focus on first their outcome. What is it that they want? That's key. If you don't know what you want, it's like flying a plane. If you don't have a roadmap, if you don't have a flight plan, how are you going to get to California? So we have to write a plan. And in that plan is then overcoming obstacles. And when we overcome obstacles, we then can get a pretty good idea of what's blocking you and uncover them. And how we do that is we take you through the layers of the mind. There's 6 layers of the mind, and that starts with changing our beliefs. Our beliefs become our behavior, and people are unaware of their potential. What is my potential? Can I really do this? What makes that person climb Mount Everest? I'm not there challenging them. They have to realize their potential. And after that, then what we do is we get their potential, they live to the fullest, and then we talk about their new identity. How do they see themselves? And then even beyond that is then spirit. Above all else is how do we live truly in spirit, and in spirit is what is inspiring me from the heart.
That's very profound. Very profound. All right, let's move on to step number 3. So you just touched on it a little bit, the outcome. But part of the outcome, part of the exercise that you help people do is visualization. So how does that play a key role in this whole transformation?
Well, I'm sure everybody has done a dream board, right? We've all done a dream board. This visualization is literally, there's power in pen to power. And you were talking about it in one of your seminars about how there's just something about taking what's up here and putting it down on paper. When you're visualizing it and you're reading it, we want you to really know it. And one thing about NLP is when I say know your outcome, it's not just knowing it in your brain, it's seeing it, feeling it, and hearing it. So we call it visual acuity. We actually call it VACOG, using all of our senses and really acting as if that you have that outcome already. Because what that does, and when you work with me, is it activates the reticular activating system. It's like when you buy a blue car, then all of a sudden you start seeing a blue car. Or when I was pregnant, everybody I looked at was pregnant, right? Or if you start talking about, I'm going to England, then you hear conversations in the grocery store. People are going to England. So when you're really knowing and seeing and hearing and feeling and associating with your outcome, what happens is you activate that reticular activating system. And it's just a beautiful thing. We're really talking about the subconscious mind and I don't want to go deep on that. Because,
no, I understand, because it's like seeing your future as if it already happened.
Absolutely.
It's part of visualization as well as maybe manifestation.
Yes.
You talk about both?
Right. Well, here's the thing about manifestation is everybody probably has heard The Secret, or maybe they haven't, but we talk about the law of attraction. There's other laws out there like the law of polarity. And in visualization, you have to be able to know both sides of what could happen and really focus on the positive, the school of positivity, not the school of negativity.
Right. So instead of saying, I don't want that to happen, a lot of people use bad language actually.
Right.
We need to be saying, I want this to happen.
Right. Because the subconscious mind doesn't know negative. If I say, don't think of an Oreo cookie, don't think of an Oreo cookie, you're thinking of an Oreo cookie. Yeah. So the subconscious mind does not process negative. So the more you focus on a positive outcome, that's it has to give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Great exercises for someone to go through. So now you talk about principle 4 being focus on excellence, not perfection. What do you mean by that?
Well, we're very hard on ourselves if we fail. So it's a reason why I particularly I'm intentional in using the word outcome and not goals. Because one of those, we've all done it on January, New Year's Day, right? Oh, I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna start working out. And within 2 weeks, you're not even going to the gym.
Over.
It's all over. I didn't reach my goal.
Yes.
So we say focus on the excellent. Well, what did you do? Just getting your yoga pants on and going into your car and driving to the gym. Focus on that.
Yeah.
We tend to focus on being perfection. No. Focus on excellence. That's how NLP was founded, is focusing on, Virginia Satir focused on the positivity of people's behaviors and strategies. We all have a strategy in how we make a decision, a buying strategy, a love strategy. And when we focus on the excellent part of that, your outcome comes to fruition. Yeah.
Yeah. So is perfection a bad thing?
Yes. Look, we like things perfect, but in NLP, we do not focus on perfection. We totally focus on excellence.
Yeah, so doing your best.
Doing the best and being okay with that. And knowing that at the time, if we weren't our best, it was most likely I was in an unresourceful state. So if I was to say to you, what is your best sales month? And I'm sure you could say, oh yeah, this month I made whatever that number is, $1 million. And then you could probably also think of a time when you didn't make $1 million. And I bet you if we were to fill this room up with entrepreneurs, they were probably not in a good state of mind when they didn't have a good month. I mean, you can blame the economy, you can blame it on the weather, on traffic, but if you're in a good state, you're going to have a good day.
Yeah.
So that's what we say in NLP, to focus on excellent, not perfection.
Yeah, very nice.
Do you like that?
I do.
Yeah.
I love it actually,
Oh,
because just like you published a book, I've published books, and sometimes you don't know when to stop editing. Like you want it to be perfect. We're missing a comma here or a period here.
Yeah.
And sometimes good is good enough. And you did your best and then you move on.
Right.
I think perfection sometimes stalls. It gets you like from moving ahead because you're waiting until everything is perfect. And really there's nothing perfect.
Oh, and it's finding, Dori, the beauty in the imperfections. It's finding the beauty and the excellence in the imperfections as well. And being okay with that.
Yeah, just like doing this interview.
Yeah.
We are doing it because we want to help others, whether it's perfect or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The purpose is to help others.
That's right.
Yeah.
We all have a cause, and if you stay with that in NLP, we can help you uncover some of those things that keep you in that perfection mode. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
So principle 5 is always operate with gratitude and integrity. Wow. Okay, let's talk about that.
Well, gratitude, have an attitude of gratitude. Even if the day, Thomas Edison, someone asked Thomas Edison, how do you feel that you failed 701 times at making a light bulb? And what he said was just profound. He said, I didn't fail 701 times. I succeeded in knowing how to do it the right way, not the wrong way. So he looked at it that it took me 701 times to finally make the light bulb. He didn't see it as a failure.
Right.
And when I read that, I could just feel the gratitude that he had, that I had 700 chances. So we're reframing. We reframe in NLP according to whom.
Right.
According to whom that you failed at this 700 times. So living a life and being grateful is sometimes hard when you're in an unresourceful state. And living in integrity, authenticity is a word that's been used a lot lately. Living your authentic self. And what I found in a English dictionary, that having truth and integrity is being truly authentic. And authentic means, when you're living your authentic life, is that I am the author of my destiny. So when you keep an attitude of gratitude and get the stinking thinking out, NLP, we can help you overachieve. Yeah.
And I think with the state the country's in right now, I don't think we have enough gratitude and integrity. So I'm so glad that you talk about it and teach people how to be more grateful. It's something that we all should practice.
Or at least strive for.
Strive for, yeah. And integrity is
key.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that. How do you get people to realize, first of all, what integrity is and how can they make it part of their life?
Yeah. Well, we just focus on reframing. We reframe situations. We get to a place where if someone's not acting accordingly, do what you say, have an integrity with yourself, doing your work honestly. A big one is well, COVID taught us, but prior to COVID, you went to work no matter what, no matter how sick you were, and you took one day off.
Right.
COVID has forced us to take 7 days off when we were sick. Being honest and having truth and integrity with yourself is saying that what I'm going to do, how I'm going to act, how I'm going to treat others is my integrity. And all it takes is one person to notice that you do that. And in NLP, again, focusing on excellence helps us to live that way.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, integrity is something even your parents start teaching you from when you're a baby, right? And then sometimes we grow up and we go in different paths and get mixed up with the wrong people, and it affects the way we behave and our state of mind and the outcome that we're looking for. And people sometimes get stuck.
Well, and then also too, if I can just add to that, is it's overwhelm. We're in overwhelm when we're not doing what we say we're going to do, because the brain likes completion. You and I were talking about that. I have to make my bed in the morning. So when we complete a task, it allows us to do another task and allows us to do another task. I teach my children, if you cannot make your bed in the morning, it's a small task I'm asking you to do. How are you going to complete the bigger ones in life?
Exactly.
How are you going to do that? That's integrity right there.
Yes. Good example. Yeah, we definitely made our bed.
Yes.
You gotta make your bed in the morning.
Yes.
It's a terrible thing not to make your bed. So everybody, make your bed.
Make your bed. Dori's gonna check you.
Actually, there's a book out by a military guy that says "Make your bed first" or something. It's
because they have
good
to.
book. Yeah. So you've been doing this for a while, and I'm sure you've heard all kinds of different stories and different situations that people come to you with, whether they're stuck, whether they want a new transformation, whether they want a new life, a new beginning. Can you talk a little bit about, maybe an example of someone that you've had where you've gone through the life transformation with and you've helped them?
Yeah. So this one particular lady came to me because she was unhappy and she didn't even know why. She was an educator, and she came to me because she wanted to move on but didn't know how to let go of something that she created for 20 years. And we did coaching with her. We explored options, and I remember I said to her, "You're not happy in what you're doing," and she almost kind of was offended by it because she took so much time in her education and getting degrees and things. And what we did is we did some techniques with her and some healing and some NLP with her, and she totally is now left her job, is now opened up a dog walking business. She loves the animals, and she's living on a beach. So if you just recognize the trueness inside of you, and you really need a coach to help you. You can't go at it alone.
Yeah.
I really do. Everybody should have a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, because sometimes we can't see the tree from the forest, right? We're like going through the motions daily, getting up, taking our shower, getting ready, go to work, and we're just like in a robotic mode. And sometimes we really don't know why we're happy. We go to a doctor, they put us on drugs, which I think is the worst thing you could do. And really, it could be as simple as sitting down with someone like Tracie and truly get down to the bottom of why you are in that state of mind.
Yeah.
And that's what that day with Tracie is all about.
The day with Tracie.
Let's talk about this a little bit, because I think that is such an important thing that people need to know about. Because sometimes, like you said, people don't even know why they're not happy. And there's a lot of unhappy people. And when you're unhappy, it's not a good thing. It stresses you out. It's terrible for your health. And there's a better way.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
Yeah, so a day with Tracie looks like you come in. I I give you a preface. There's homework. You have to do a little bit of homework.
Absolutely.
And we focus on areas in your life. And you have 6 areas to choose from, whether it's personal development, spiritual development, health and wellness, financial and career. And I ask you to choose two of your top that you're having issues with, where you feel the most unhappy or stressed or anxiety ridden. And then we dive into those 2 topics, and we do things like time techniques, parts integration. It's a real soft and easy way. But what's amazing about it is that we allow the subconscious, because the subconscious remembers everything. And we get you to a place where instead of just directing one problem, we get you to direct all of the problems, which is the root cause of why you feel stuck. So
nice.
Yeah.
And what is the outcome of that? What are they walking away with? And is there work to do after the day? Like, what is that progression?
Well, I will tell you, I take a picture of you before we start, and I take a picture after, and there is always a shift.
Wow.
So some of my clients will say, I went home, I really processed, and then we activated that reticular activating system, and things just shifted quickly. Not to knock talk therapy. I certainly myself have done therapy with professionals, psychologists. When we work with neurolinguist programming, we re-strategize the way that you deliver your outcome. And it's just profound.
And the way you think,
and
really.
the way you think.
Yeah, because it's all about the mindset.
Just for making your bed.
Yeah.
Or we map across. We get you to something that you like that's hurting you, like macaroni and cheese, and I can get you to dislike it so that you substitute a new strategy in eating healthier.
Yeah. In working with many entrepreneurs, I'm sure many of your clients are also entrepreneurs. They probably need this more than anybody else, because a lot of times we're working, we're driving forward, and sometimes we don't take the time to sit back, to just de-stress and start with a new, fresh day, thinking totally differently than what you've been thinking. And that's what I love about what you're doing, is that you can give them that nice breath of fresh air and have them take a new look about what they're doing, seeing what they're doing with new eyes.
Yeah. And the breakthrough session, or now I'm kind of liking you saying a day with Tracie, because that's neat. If you can just allow yourself and give yourself that self-care. My mission has been for the last 15 years, even before COVID, is self-care is healthcare. It's your
it's really, to me, what we've been talking about the last couple of days, it's mind care.
Mind care, yes.
I love it, because
mind care.
That's really what you're talking about, because sometimes your mind gets stuck and you really need somebody like you to break through. That's what the breakthrough session is all about, and truly shift your mind thinking, your mindset to new things, so you can achieve new results.
If I can just share why I did my last breakthrough, is because I got to a certain ceiling. Even successful people, we all hit a ceiling, and we have to break through that next level. And sometimes it's just the fear of losing it all. If I do this, could I lose it all?
Right.
And a breakthrough session could help you understand that no, you're not going to lose it all. We just get a new strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've done so good up to now. Why would you even think that?
But for some reason, that limiting belief, that limiting doubt grows like a weed, and
And thank God for people like you, right?
And you.
Thank you. So what advice would you give someone who's feeling maybe stuck, or they want a fresh new start on life, or a transformation like we're talking about? What would you do? What advice would you give them right now if that's where they are now?
Really, I think the key point is being aware that you are, and really focus on what is my outcome, what is truly going to do, and only focus on that, and stop explaining things. We have a tendency to want to explain and complain. Get into a part, whether you're reading something 15 minutes a day positive, getting out in nature, listening to something positive. There's plenty on YouTube, and then of course scheduling a coaching session.
Absolutely. That's why they need to call you. Definitely need to call you. Okay. So I was on your review page, and you have like thousands of reviews. And I'm like, wow, that is amazing that you have been able to affect so many people's lives. And I actually pulled one that I would like to read to everyone, and so they can see the potential of what it means to actually be in the presence of someone like you and actually going through the process. So I just like to take a moment here to read it. It said, "Hi Tracie, I wanted to let you know that my husband and I just moved to the Cape May area. I wanted to thank you for some of the best coaching I've ever had." That's quite a compliment, because there's a lot of coaches out there. "I'll never forget what you asked me at my first appointment. You said, 'Do you like what you do for a living?' And it seemed like you were picking up on the fact that deep down I did not." And I think that's what sometimes people compress that feeling, and they don't really talk about it or accept it, or they're maybe not ready for a change. And obviously you were able to break through that with this individual, which I think is great. So I looked at you kind of stunned, because you were the first person to make me think about it. And that's why coaching is so important, right there. And my response was, yeah, that's a good question. Interestingly, I've just resigned after 20 years of teaching. We moved and began a new life, a whole relaxed lifestyle in the Bay Area and the dog-friendly beach. Even though you and I aren't in each other's immediate sphere these days, I couldn't leave, obviously, because she moved. That's where you live, in Chester County. I couldn't leave Chester County without acknowledging your healing talents and compassionate and caring for us. I think that's amazing. You are a gem, and I wish I could have scheduled more sessions with you and spend more time in your healing presence. I think, like, oh my gosh, when I read that, spent more time in your healing presence, I'm like, Tracie, come and see me. Because I need your healing presence. That's amazing.
I just have a gift that I know how to help people. Some of us, we just know, and I'm not afraid to ask those questions, and I'm not afraid to push. That's what a good coach does. They're not afraid to, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
a moment of truth.
Because I will tell you, I remember her coming in and me saying that. There was a point where I'm like, whoa, did I just offend her? Because I could tell she was not happy, but she spent a lot of time in educating herself to be a teacher. So,
That's what everybody, and that goes to that first principle that we discussed earlier, which is the self-awareness. And she wasn't aware. Like, she didn't even know. Deep down inside she knew, but she was covering it up.
Right.
And that's what many people do. I think they cover up, and that's what it takes to dive in, to bring the self-awareness, and then go through the next 5 principles that we talked about. That's great. So how would someone go about to reserve a session with you or do a consultation or the breakthrough day or the day with Tracie?
A day with Tracie. Well, we do it online. Zoom is one of those places, but you can find me on www.tracieullman.net. And if you're local to the Philadelphia area, you can come in and we can do a day together.
Yeah.
So I invite you to do that. And there's really some power. I mean, we've had great sessions over Zoom. I definitely do that. I have people all over the world, but definitely if you are in the Philadelphia area, seek me out.
Thanks. Yeah. That would be wonderful. I encourage everybody to do so. If you're looking for a true life transformation, you definitely need to seek out Tracie Ullman and make sure you schedule some time with her. Thank you so much for joining us. If you too would like to be on Meet the Expert, go to meettheexperts.com and apply. We would love to have you join us and share your knowledge and expertise with our audience. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Tracie.
Thank you.